Okay, so first of all, some heavy hitters here. We've got a lot of, yeah, a few major arcana. We've got a lot of major arcana. So one, two, three, four. Four so far. Four, five with the Lover's card. Okay, so we have the Death card linked up with the Tower. Now, the Death card is this is basically some type of ideological shift happening within your life. Okay, these are major arcana cards, and they deal with some innate changes that needs to happen in your life, and these are things that you've had inkling about. These are things that are even as far back as like January, February, you are beginning to let go of, okay? You know that it's no longer serving you, so you're letting it go. For a lot of you, with the Tower card, the Tower indicates some type of structural changes. This can be if there is something in your life that is not good for you, such as unhealthy habits, unhealthy ways of doing, procrastinating, waiting until the very, very last minute in order to get, sort things out. These are behaviors and habits and ways of doing that you are leaving behind once and for all. And when it is left behind, you're going to realize that they were holding you back from fully enjoying your life, and they were hindering. I feel like they were blocking a lot of blessings from coming into your life. So, such as, procrastination, such as rushing head first and not doing things in moderation. So, these are like life choices or ways of doing that we basically grew up with, and we never question it. But I do feel that for a lot of you, this is something that has been brought up for re-examination since January, and you're starting out in January thinking about it, but you never implemented any type of changes. And I feel like this is the month, it's the springtime, so I feel like a lot of you are thinking about possibly spring cleaning, possibly moving property, thinking about how you can fix up your home, or how you can, finally get around to fixing up some trouble spots, either in your home environment, in your physical dwelling, in your family relationships. I feel some type of fix up is in order. It might be as well tax season. So there might be, more financial abundance coming through that will allow you to do this. Just make sure you live within your means. Doing things in moderation is going to be very vital for you. Okay. So both of these cards together indicate to me some type of ideological shift happening in your life that is going to declutter things that are no longer working for you to allow you to move ahead, travel light, and invite the better things to come through. And it's going to be very, very positive because the next card we have is the new beginning. So all of these things are left behind. And I feel like for a lot of you, with the tower indicates a significant relationship as well. So I feel like because there are two people depicted, if you have had a significant relationship and you were living together at one point, because the tower, once again, it's a home environment, two people involved. So I feel like it was something that was built up, but it was built up on faulty foundation, and you're realizing that it can no longer work. Okay. And it's also like if you have a roommate situation, or if you were in an environment where you weren't living with somebody, but you don't really consider them your family. They might have been roommates. They might have been someone you were romantically involved with. That is something that has happened where there might have been a falling out, and you're leaving this situation behind. You're going in there physically moving your things and moving out. So I feel for a lot of you, this is something that is coming through as well in terms of movement forward and not looking back, traveling light, and letting go of old ways of doing that were holding you back and blocking your own path forward. Okay. I feel like just these two cards alone indicate to me lifestyle choices, decisions that we're making, okay? I don't feel like they're imposed from the outside. It's just things that you have to leave behind, and you're gladly doing it as well. So the next two cards we have here is the Judgment card as well as the Queen of Cups. I'm going to read this as you because we have another water sign that's coming through, and I'm going to talk about the water sign as a person or as an energy later. But there is a new start happening in your life. And I do feel with the judgment card here, the judgment card is basically, you're given a second chance, or you're giving a clean slate. You're giving like the blank card, the blank page to basically rewrite, redefine, and re-examine, and to recreate the life that you want on the heels of this Tower card. So you're getting the clean slate, and you're getting a do-over. So the judgment card indicates contact as well. This can be hearing back from a person, or it can be a situation where there is some type of reunion that is going to bring you a lot of emotional happiness. There is something happening here where the new beginning is going to exceed your expectation, is going to bring a lot of emotional stability. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is something that you desperately need, because there was a lot of upheaval I feel happening in the past, and you felt like everything you believed in, you felt like the things that you thought, growing up as children, we believe certain things, and it's based on our environment. It's also based on childhood conditioning, things that we were taught. And we take for granted that those things will always be around. But I do feel that in the process of letting go, we're starting to realize that, new beginnings are good. New beginnings are exciting. And I have a blank page, and I can create the life that I want for myself. So I feel like moving forward, this is a very brand new beginning for you. And I feel that because it deals with the judgment card is mainly about, it's a major arcana. So I feel something has been broken down and something is being rebuilt, or at least there's some type of renewal happening here. So for a lot of you, it's a healing process. And for a lot of you, it can be healing from childhood conditioning, healing from unhealthy, I would say, like unhealthy types of conditioning, thoughts, mental processes that we've been brought up to believe. Okay. So this is definitely a very, very positive change of turn of events happening for you. In terms of your financial situation, we have the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords with the Five of Pentacles. It deals with feeling a sense of isolation. All right. So a lot of you might be in a situation where when it comes to the work environment, when it comes to, I feel like your financial situation is relatively stable, but I do sense that you're not getting the emotional fulfillment that you're hoping from your job. All right. I also feel as if this is a very heavy month when it comes to relationships, love relationships, family relationships as well, where you might not be emotionally invested on the work front. Be very, very careful when it comes to communication. Either people, like if you're working with clients, if you're working with, in close proximity with a boss, somebody who might try to micromanage you, just be very, very careful about communication. And at least if you're upset, angry, take a step back, take a breather, and don't try to solve any problems when you're upset. It's not going to lead anywhere. So I feel like on the work front, on the financial front, there might be some type of separation as well. So if you have like I feel like if you have somebody that you're very, very close to, like a coworker, a boss, they might be going on vacation. They might be leaving that work environment. So you feel a little bit like isolated from the rest of the people that you're working with. When it comes to your finances in general, like I said earlier, don't just do things in moderation, okay? Try to curb your spending as well. I don't feel any financial like worries that you need to try to mitigate, but I do sense that there is an air of extravagance, possibly emotional spending, when you're feeling sad, when you feel disappointed, or when you feel like things are not going exactly the way you want, or when you feel frustrated as well. You might be going off and, blowing through your money and to make yourself feel better. Emotional spending is just something to keep an eye out for, but it's also something that you might be prone to. It's also Mercury in retrograde, the end happening in April. So it is not a good time to buy anything because no matter what it is, you're going to get buyer's remorse. Even like the tiniest stick of gum. And I feel as well, this is something you want to be mindful about on the work front. Um, Keep important documents and things like that, know where they are. If they're confidential information, you want to keep them hidden. Okay, you want to keep them hidden so that information doesn't leak out is what I'm sensing. I'm sensing leakage with this card. And I feel like there might be some key vital information that might hurt somebody's career prospects and things like that. Be very, very careful about holding secrets in on the work environment. It is something that you should do anyways, but just, be extra vigilant when it comes to um, sharing information that might be confidential. And likewise, don't put yourself in a situation where you might be gossiped about, okay? So be very careful about not getting involved in gossip or not doing things, acting above board so that other people are not gossiping about you. Dating on the work front is not going to be good for you. We have the Lovers card as well as the Five of Pentacles, which is more about work and finances, how we earn our money. So, and you have two people basically cast out in the cold, as well as some type of a heartache situation. So don't mix business with pleasure for this month is not looking too great if it is somebody you're interested in the work environment. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're going to do your love reading in a little bit. The other thing I'm sensing here is we have a water sign coming through for you. I believe this guy showed up last month, but I'm going to read him as a he or a she because the cards are not, these general readings, the genders are not specific, okay? So first of all, in terms of emotional support, there is going to be somebody coming through in terms of love, relationships, and, romantic partners and prospects. So you have this person, possibly the same person for you guys that came through in March. For those of you who have this person come through, it's the King of Cups, and this can be a water sign. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I feel like there's going to be contact. If it hasn't already happened last month, there is going to be some type of contact, some type of a reunion happening with this person. I feel there is an element of risk involved because we have the Tower and the Five of Pentacles. There's an element of risk. So if it's somebody in your work environment, just be very, very careful. What I'm sensing with this person is, I mentioned the same thing last month, which is that this is a very strategic person. You can tell he or she is more of an observer, a thinker, a person who feels rather than an action-oriented person, okay? This is somebody that is, that waits around for the right opportunity. They might be slow to act, but they're very, very strategic. Once they want to also connect to you on an emotional level. And it is very difficult for you to do that with this person. And I don't know why. It might be because, they're so guarded when it comes to their feelings. They want you to express yourself first. But I feel like you want them to open up as well. So we have a little bit of an impasse here. Now, I'm going to say that I feel for a lot of you, you're in a situation where you have built up your life a certain way. You love and enjoy your independence. And this is the Empress card, by the way. And she's just really beautiful. I love the way the people are depicted. So both of these people, they have their own kingdoms. They have their own empires. They have basically a lot of financial stability. They both know they have a lot to offer other people, whoever it is they allow into their lives. They both are serious. You know, this is not somebody that can mess around, or this is somebody who is looking for the one. And I feel like for a lot of you Aquarius as well, you're dealing with a water sign who is not very, who's a little bit close-lipped, who is trying to assess a situation with you, or they're trying to figure out what they want to do. For a lot of you, you might be dealing with a water sign who might be married, because the Empress usually indicates like a maternal figure within the tarot, okay? You might be dealing with a water sign, and if this is a romantic interest, this is somebody who is very, very attractive. They likewise are very attracted to you. And I feel there is a power play at work between these two people. Because if we're looking at the archetype, this is a man who feels a little bit emasculated by the person he's trying to pursue. Because the Empress, you know, her role trumps all the kings. So emperors, they control all the kingdoms. And I feel like there is a little bit of a power play, a strange power dynamic between you and the other person. And it doesn't matter which gender you are. I feel some type of weird, like, power play where no one's really budging, because they want to know what the other person is thinking and feeling. And the other person likewise wants to know what you're thinking and feeling. I do sense, though, for a lot of you, if you're involved with this person romantically, they might have somebody else on the side. They might have, I feel almost like they might have a house with the other person that they're romantically linked with. I feel like there's some property, there's some type of power struggle between their situation, and they're trying to extract themselves. I feel like there is a very, very strong physical attraction with this water sign. It's coming in very strongly with both of these cards, because this is like the ultimate, you know, like the ultimate relationship partner that you want, somebody who's very emotionally nurturing. And then likewise with the Empress, this is the ultimate partner that you want, somebody who's like very attractive, very beautiful, very caring, nurturing, knows how to take care of him or herself, and is just giving. Okay, so I definitely feel there is some power dynamics, power imbalances as well. And I definitely feel like it's almost seems to me like they live in like different time zones, different kingdoms. Like they have very different upbringing. So working together as a unit is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but the attraction is very great. So in terms of your advice cards, the first thing that we have here is the Three of Cups, the Prince of Swords, this is you, and the Prince of Swords is the Knight of Swords. And as you remember from the Rider-Waite, the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. And it's basically telling you moderation and don't rush, okay? You have that initial message that came out is being reiterated in the cards. So that is something I want you to really, really take away with you. If you're watching this and you don't even, you know, you forget everything else, just the takeaway message is do not rush, okay? This can be physically driving around, not rushing in your vehicle. This can be making sure you lock your home when you're leaving, making sure that if you're leaving and you're leaving the keys behind with another person, making sure that you really, really trust them. And just don't rush and cut corners, because I feel like something might come up to make you regret cutting corners. So just be careful about that, okay, Aquarius? Once again, the Prince of Swords is somebody who is very logical, who is very cerebral. And I definitely feel like for a lot of you who are in romantically linked up with somehow with this water sign, they are perceiving you as somebody who's very rational. And it's hard for them to understand what makes you tick. It's hard for them to understand you, where you're coming from overall. So I feel like taking some time off, I feel like if you're starting out on a new relationship specifically, taking some time off and spending alone time, spending quality time, slowing down, enjoying the sunshine, and having a cup of coffee or something like that with another person to really have a conversation is going to be very important for you. So slow down a little bit, okay? I feel like, a lot of the time life happens and we're just like swept along with it. But this is the month for you to really slow down. Once you slow down, you're going to realize that, okay, I'm not constantly frazzled. I can think clearer. My mental processes are a lot more balanced, as well as, feeling as if you're in control of your life. So when life accelerates, it doesn't mean that you should accelerate just to keep up, because that's not how things work. When you feel like things are starting to like spin out of control, it's really time to slow down and um, go inwards. Okay, so that's just general life advice. But I feel, especially for this month, a lot is happening around you. A lot of emotions are pulling you in all kinds of directions. So I feel like it would be really in your best interest, slow down and observe and see what the best options are. You have many, many options here for you. So the first thing is the way the cards are laid out. It seems to me there is going to be some type of, there's cause for celebration. The Three of Cups, once again, is a socializing card. And I mentioned before, be very, very careful about overindulging. So I feel like you're rushing to one event after another. So be careful about, choosing, limiting your time, spending time with people, like choosing quality over quantity. That is something that you're going to have to do. And I feel that there might be a lot of communication coming through with the Judgment card, where you're trying to figure out, fact from fiction. You're trying to figure out who it is that's worth it. I feel there's opportunities to socialize. I feel like there's opportunities to meet new people, to mingle, to network as well. And it's really important for you to maintain the quality of the interaction rather than going after the quantity. Okay, so that's the first message I'm getting here. And once again, that note about gossip, workplace gossip, once again is coming through. Be careful about your conduct in the work environment. This is not a month for you to feel invincible, because we have some major arcana cards coming through. We also have the Tower, so be very, very careful about how you are being perceived on the work front, because I feel like karmic actions coming back in, possibly on the work environment. So just keep that in mind, okay? The last card we have here in terms of your advice is we have the Lovers card. And the Lovers card indicates passion, things being reignited with another person. In the literal sense, it can definitely mean new love relationships and feeling, revitalized and re-energized because there is somebody significant in your life. I definitely feel for a lot of you, it might be a water sign. We have the Queen of Cups as well as the King of Cups coming through. And so there's a very strong water sign coming through for you. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And the Lovers is also about major, major choices. And this is a choice that is not easy to make. Okay, it's a choice between rationality and between your head and your heart. So as an air sign, you're automatically going to go for things that are stable and true and that make sense to your head. And I feel like this is the month for you to let that type of mentality behind and follow your heart and pursue your heart. That also means, okay, so because you're an air sign and you're like this, and you're rushing in and you're doing things too fast, it means that you don't have a moment of peace to really listen to that inner voice, your inner guidance, your spirit guides, trying to guide you and steer you in the right direction. So taking some time off and asking yourself, what is it that my heart really wants? I feel like that's going to lead you in the right direction, okay? Because what I feel is you're heading in this direction where there are many, many options, where there might be potentially gossip on the work front. There might be gossip in your environment. And the other choice that is safe and stable for you is a very emotionally nurturing person, somebody that has a lot of life experience, Possibly somebody with children as well, because we have the Empress, which is the mother card. So possibly somebody with their own children. So I feel like this is the direction that you're supposed to head into. But a lot of the times you have to really quiet your environment. You have to, remain very, very calm and still in order to hear what your heart is trying to tell you and to think about